welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that just displaced some water after he did a cannonball in a pool while holding a chicken burrito. It's Tom Tresimer.
Put the forces at weapons posture 1. Warning red. Weapons tight. Mark, I want everything loaded.
On it. How are we going to get this 1,000-pound missile through the entire battleship? I love that scene. Oh, my gosh. So
we're going to carry it.
So here's the deal. Tom has been a guest on the pod for the last couple of years. He's done some wonderful episodes with us. But I got to know Tom in the Atlanta film industry in the early 2010s. And in the industry, Tom is known as the guy who just violently defends Battleship. Not violently, but you're like a honey badger.
If it comes to violence, I will resort to that in a heartbeat.
You're basically the honey badger of Battleship fans. And so you and I have always gotten along because I was always a fan of the film. I was able to get on the massive vibe. I had fun with it. I think it offers just a lot of fun moments that people didn't even look at. They kind of glossed over. But I think a lot of people know that they can mess with you about Battleship, and so you'll get in the arguments. But you're the Battleship aficionado of the Atlanta film industry. I just got to tell you that, Tom.
It might be a club of one, to be honest. I don't know if there's anyone else. Maybe you as well. But yeah, I've always been made fun of, hopefully lightheartedly by others for my love of this movie.
So this movie has a 34% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.8 on IMDb, which isn't great. So it's Battleship. It's a movie based on a board game, which I love. It's a great board game, and they did include some neat aspects of this, but it's also a $200 million budgeted bonkers fest without an A-list star that this is my main complaint of Battleship, Tom, and I want to see what you think, because this isn't me challenging you. I know what happens. You turn into a honey badger, and you just start rolling around on the ground, so I don't want that to happen.
I will turn into Admiral Shane here.
Now, it feels like a Michael Bay movie. I have fun with Michael Bay movies, but it just if you didn't know that, if you watch this, you're like, oh, Michael Bay movie. It doesn't have enough of a personality of its own, I guess.
It does feel heavily Michael Bay, especially with the CGI aspects of it. Yeah. I think a lot of that is probably brought in by Hasbro as well, because if I'm not mistaken, didn't they do Transformers?
Yeah, and also the CGI, man, is ILM, Industrial Light and Magic. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
this is excellent looking special effects.
It is,
but I guess for me, it's more about the kind of manic dialogue and the unnecessarily mean characters. So after spending a lot of time with this movie in the last couple of weeks, I've always loved it. Like the chicken burrito bit at the end when Liam Neeson says, "Go get a chicken burrito." I don't think there's a scene that makes me happier than when Mick fights the alien and punches his teeth out. This former veteran who lost his legs and he's punching an alien's teeth out. It's a former Golden Glove box. It's beautiful. I love that moment. But there's a scene where Jesse Plemons' character, Jesse Plemons, isn't that crazy? Friday Night Lights reunion. Taylor Kitsch, Peter Berg, Jesse Plemons. But he goes up.
I read one review that called him the poor man's Matt Damon.
Oh, that's terrible. But I don't think they ever watched Friday Night Lights because he is so good in that show.
He is great.
But Plemons goes up to Alex Hopper, played by Taylor Kitsch, and he's trying to tell him about his lizard and how aliens can't handle the sunlight. And Hopper's just
Penelope second, the third, or something like that.
Yeah, Penelope the third, and they took him to the beach. It was a terrible idea. But Hopper's just so mean to him during that scene. And it's just the unnecessary meanness to it that I don't enjoy in this film. But I do still have fun with it, and the 2 hours do blast by.
Yeah, I think part of that meanness too is, I'm not going to pretend to know the inner workings of the military hierarchy and ranking.
I'm sure glad you aren't, because you're like, you know what, Mark, on these battleships, this is what happens when you're fighting aliens.
Yeah, about it. Well, I mean, Alex Hopper is a lieutenant in that movie, and Jesse Plemons is a boatswain's mate. So, I think there's a pretty huge gap there between the rankings. Like, I don't know how often you would have somebody of Orty's level talking with Lieutenant Hopper. So, I think they do have some sort of friendship there on the side, but, at work, it's kind of one of those things of maybe a PA coming up and jabbering around with a UPM. Like, you just don't see it often.
I would lose my mind if that happened. A line producer chatting with a PA. One time, one of the main producers on a big movie came up and talked to me, and I froze. I was like, I didn't do anything.
Deer in headlights?
Yeah, I didn't do anything. Wait, what? Wasn't me.
You probably knew about movies, films, and flicks.
No,
wanted to ask you.
She started talking to me about movies because it was a really boring studio shoot it was just laborious, and there's just hours of downtime. So we would just sit around and talk about movies, and eventually someone came up and I just was afraid. So I get what you're saying, but I don't. It's just, I guess for me, it's the aliens have attacked. And your world is under destruction, and you need any ideas that you can have. Does that mean, I don't know.
No, I get it. But I think it's one of those things, too. It's like Hopper is the last person in charge of that. That still would have been on the USS Paul Jones, I believe. So it's like that's the last destroyer that's available to them. And he's the senior ranking officer. And you've got this guy coming up to him talking about his lizard he took to the beach. So it's like at that. You take it at face value, I would probably be in the similar shoes there where I'm going to get agitated very, very quick at that man. But then, he starts to come around. He's got to work his way through the gibberish before he gets to the meat and potatoes of what he wants to tell Hopper.
Yeah, that's a weird scene. And that's kind of why I like this movie. There's some weird moments to this flick.
There are some weird moments.
But it's fun.
I kind of want to round back to your point about it being a Michael Bay-esque type movie. It is very similar to a Michael Bay movie, but it's almost without they've like trimmed the excess fat of Michael Bay movies off. It's like you don't have that overly long love story. It's like that kind of sets the movie, but then it goes by the wayside, within the first 20 minutes, and we don't get caught up into that.
I really
and then from there on out, it's just missiles and machine guns the entire time.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because, you think, Pearl Harbor, Transformers, all of those movies, The Rock, they all have the person they have the love interest, and then they have the person staring at computer screens crying later on.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. But I actually like Sam a lot in this movie, Brooklyn Decker. I know it was one of her first films. Pete Berg took a chance casting her, but I like the authority she had in this. Go talk to my dad. Do it. You got it. And I like the relationship between her and Mick, just up there saving people, and Mick trusts her driving, and I like them together. They found a way.
She's a physical therapist.
Yeah, you're right.
They made a physical therapist a hero, and that never happens.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And I like the way they handled the character. That was fun. But yeah, this movie, it's interesting because it's almost universally disliked. And I guess I get it, but I honestly think, Tom, I don't know why I wouldn't lie about it, but I think people didn't like this movie from the beginning because it was that time where John Carter had a $200 million budget. I don't know, Lone Ranger hadn't hit quite yet, but there were just these movies coming out that had these $200 million budgets. They were quite excessive. People were sort of hating on them. Marvel was getting into its stride. And it was also Battleship. We're going to make a movie out of Battleship. So I think a lot of people went into it very sour.
Yeah, I think it's that whole preconceived notion of what they think this movie is going to be about. You think you're going to base a movie off of an 80-year-old board game at that point. And the game has no storyline to it. It's literally just 1v1
B-17.
Yeah, and you're throwing out coordinates to try to sink someone's battleship. So there's no story arc. There's no backstory to anything. So all of a sudden, we're going to make a feature-length narrative movie based off of the game. People are like, well, that's not going to go anywhere. Oh, yeah, but this is also about aliens. All right, well, no, it's definitely not going to go anywhere. So I think a lot of people went into it already with a negative outlook, a very pessimistic viewpoint. And that hurt it.
That's probably, do you think it's justified?
Maybe to an extent.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of fun to be had in this film, though. This is a $200 million film with visual effects by ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, the Jurassic Park people. This movie came out, 9 years ago? But there's still some excellent moments that drop your jaw. Jaw dropping. Holy crap, words.
Either or.
Words. But yeah,
the movie gets you tongue-tied.
Yeah, and Also, while watching it the other day, that scene at the end where Liam Neeson's like, we'll go get a chicken burrito and we'll talk about your conditions of surrender. I got a little teary-eyed. It was weird.
Oh, yeah. So you text me that, and I wanted to know what that moment was that you got teary-eyed.
Well, I think he just I think he just knew about the chicken burrito, Liam Neeson, the entire time, and then he just said it to him. It was just a cool moment. It was a good moment. Another thing I want to talk to you about while watching this movie, and so I want to do the reason I brought you on, Tom, is not to have you defend it. I just want us to kind of let people know what maybe they missed that is good about this movie, or what their preconceived notions might have held. Or maybe you love this movie and you're listening to it and you're talking about, what are you talking about? This movie's amazing. But I think that at the core, another issue I have is I'm a huge fan of Taylor Kitsch, right? Friday Night Lights was one of my favorite TV shows. Second season got a little weird. Weird. But then it regrouped, and then it rallied, and it brought like Michael B. Jordan in. I mean, that had a great cast, that show. Peter Berg started it off. Kyle Chandler, Connie Britton, geez Louise.
Side note, is that streaming on anything right now?
It should be on Netflix.
Is it? Okay. I want to get back into that.
Like it's one of my favorite shows. Beautiful experience. Okay. The problem, I even bought the soundtrack. Taylor Kitsch in this movie, he's this super cool guy, but he's kind of a slacker. And then he goes to jail for breaking into a building. He gets the love of his life in Brooklyn Decker, but then he's still always late. And then he plays soccer, he kicks the best person out of the way, and he misses the shot. This is not a likable character, but I think Taylor Kitsch is likable. But I don't think there's anything to this guy that I ever cheer for him. For me, this movie's more about, I like Rihanna, I like Nagata, I like Cal Zapata, even though he's weird, played by Hamish Linklater. I dig the Beast. The Beast gets a fight scene with a alien. I dig Mick.
in the engine room.
Yeah, I love Mick. Mick is cool. It's just, for me, Hopper is not, there's no arc at all to Hopper. At all. And
I'm gonna beg the differ on this one.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
I think there's a big arc, because the whole movie starts off with him being that loser with a lot of potential. Like that one person that that if they can just, for lack of a better term, get their shit together, they can accomplish some really big things. Mm-hmm. But he always just keeps stumbling over his own feet. So it's like he's kind of at that point in his life. I don't know his exact age when the movie starts. You got to think like early 20s, because I think it picks up after the whole chicken burrito scene, like 6 years later or something like that, 7 years later. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's at that stage of his life where he's just out of college and he just doesn't know what he wants to do. And he's literally just kind of a lovable loser. But then over the course of the movie, like you got to think, then he joins the Navy, he enlists and goes through officer training, and he works his way up the ranks. And there's actually a line in the trailer that I don't think is ever in the movie that Liam Neeson tells him. It's when he's talking about like how frustrating he is that he is like the youngest officer in the Navy, in like the history of the Navy. Like he's worked his way up through the ranks so fast. Which is a whole other story. It's like, if he keeps screwing up, how does he keep getting all these chances?
Yeah, he's late all the time. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to overlook that part. But it's like he always sets himself up for failure. But then by the end of the movie, he learns humility and he starts to become humble. You know, he gives his chair over to Nagata during the whole grid plot, actual battleship coordinate
water
drop.
Displacements.
Yeah, and then he ends up saving the day, and he saves the world, as he so eloquently puts it. So it's like, I think he does have a character arc to an extent, where it's like he's learning how to be a better person, to actually lead men instead of just having that title.
Well, for me, I guess he's just an awesome guy who becomes more awesome. Because 7 years later, he's still showing up late to everything.
Well, I'd probably show up late too if I was dating Brooklyn Decker.
Well, she was there waiting for him. So
yeah, I can't defend that part, but
it's frustrating, right? And now listen, I don't need every single one of my movie characters to have an arc. Like, they don't have to go from bumbling loser to, hey, I'm responsible. They don't need a full makeover. They don't need to become Pretty Woman. I just didn't connect with this guy at all, aside from the fact that I love Friday Night Lights. If you know what I mean there.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've got that. Yeah, you're carrying that fandom into his role.
Wait, if I
There's
hadn't
really
seen...
no one
Oh,
in this cast that's fully fleshed out from the
no.
characters. I mean, they're definitely secondary characters to the action and the military vessels in general.
Well, yeah, this movie's definitely not heavy on character development. I just wonder what would have happened had I watched it, had I not been a fan of his from Friday Night Lights, if I would have actually liked the movie a lot more. But I mean, this guy's likable, and I feel terrible for him. I don't feel terrible. He got a huge bump, but he went from John Carter to Battleship to the Savages. All three didn't do well. Then he had to repivot and go into 21 Bridges as a side character, or Waco as Koresh. Like, he kind of had to become a character actor after that. And that's not his fault. Tom, you're in a TV show and you play a supporting character and everyone's like, man, we love that guy. Let's put him in a $200 million movie as the star. You're not going to say no. You're going to take these films. You're going to strike. You're going to get paid. So you can't feel... it's not his fault that he took those things. I think anybody on the planet would have.
Oh, yeah, and I don't think there's... And it's very odd that those three movies would have failed anyways, considering who was behind the camera.
Yeah. Oliver Stone, like Peter Berg, hot off Hancock. Like, he was hot. He was Hansel hot. No, he was Zoolander hot. So hot right now. And then John Carter had the Pixar guy making the movie.
Taylor.
Yeah, I forget his name, but he had full directorial control when he made John Carter. And so he fought with the studios, he fought on all that. And also the buzz about John Carter.
Andrew Stanton.
Yeah, Andrew Stanton. And the buzz about John Carter was supremely negative before it came out, too. So we had two movies coming out that just had really bad buzz because they were ultra expensive. So, I don't know, I get it. I get the dislike about this movie. But it's goobery fun. When the aliens shoot their missiles, they look like the Battleship pegs. It just makes me happy.
Well, and the movie is so self-aware. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Mm-hmm. He killed my grad student.
Yeah, and I've kind of related back to this in other podcasts that we've done about the self-awareness of it. It's not to the point of a parody, but I mean, it's the characters know how absurd these situations are. Like, the sailors constantly screaming, like, I didn't sign up for this, looking through the periscope or the viewfinder, whatever it might be. Are you kidding me? I didn't know that one moved. Like, just to me, like, that brings it all back. Like, it doesn't elevate itself too serious. And that's what would get me.
Yeah, there's a heightened atmosphere. They're having fun. Liam Neeson knows exactly what movie he's in. He just wanted a free trip to Hawaii. Skarsgård knew what he was doing. He just wanted a trip to Hawaii. Yeah. And can you believe the access that Peter Berg had with the Navy? They took out... So they convinced the Navy in Hawaii to let them take out a battleship for a day. And it was a dry dock. Like, that's...
So, yes.
It's insane.
The USS Missouri was dry dock going under restoration. And they were able to convince the U.S. Navy to tug it out to open sea and do scenes on it. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. The pull that Berg had with them to be able to convince them to do that, but two, just the willingness of the U.S. Navy to let them use, literally like free of charge, let them use the most famous battleship in the history of the world. I mean, this was the ship that
Under Siege
surrendered on in 1945. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah.
And yes, Casey Ryback also saved everybody. 2 decades before that.
But yeah, I mean, another thing that makes this movie work, and that's why it's kind of talked about the access they had to the Navy. There's a lot of studio work here, right? There's a lot of green screen. But they went out on a barge a mile out in the ocean to get some of these shots. They were up in the mountains of Hawaii, shooting. I mean, this is an on-location shoot. Yes, there's studio work when they're doing the water displacement, et cetera, et cetera. They built some sets. I mean, they built some beautiful sets, actually, Tom. I mean, the production designers, they made their money on this movie.
The production design of this is top-notch.
Oh, I mean, that's what $200 million does, right?
As good as this.
No, yeah. And the $200 million is all on screen, too. which I like. So I don't mind expensive movies, such as, let's say, I don't like Jupiter Ascending or any of those films, or as long as I can see Cutthroat Island, as long as I can see every cent on screen. And you can see every cent on screen in Battleship. And the production designer, get this guy did Spider-Man, he did Face Off, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Battleship, Hancock, Spider-Man 1 and 2. He was Sam Raimi's guy for years. So, I mean, this guy had Heat, Disclosure, Hancock, I mean, Wind River. Oh, I love that movie. Spencer Confidential. But yeah, I mean, and look, the money they spent on this, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
But you see it all. It looks beautiful. And I think it captures at the end, I think it captures the sort of Americana and the sort of war ain't it fantastic vibe at the end when they have the guys, the original veterans on the boat. Just, even though they're standing there posing for zero reason, it's just a nice way to honor these men. And it made me, when I was in the theater, when that scene happened, I started laughing with just happiness, not laughing at it. I just went, yeah! It was so absurd, right? To see these guys just posing on the boat. But they earned it, and it's fun. And I think that's what this movie knows what it is.
So when I first saw this movie, this is part of the reason it's so very near and dear to my heart. I saw this at a pre-screener in St. Louis with one of my good buddies, Ben Travers, who's now
you and your pre-screeners.
Yep, who's now a critic at IndieWire, but he somehow got these screener tickets. I think it was just through the membership of the theater, and they sent it out. So I was so pumped up for this, and I think he got like 5 tickets. So a bunch of our buddies went. We pre-gamed before this, so like we treated it as like a college football game. We got pretty saucy before we went in, and it ended up being an audience full of veterans.
Whoa.
It was like a veteran screener, and these guys loved it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was a really cool experience, like watching these guys, watch this movie that's about, the Navy. Like, you don't have, there's not too many movies out there where the Navy is saving the world.
No.
And so that's pretty cool that they're kind of getting honored in that way. But yeah, man, I just remember screaming like a little girl through that entire movie. And especially right there when they finally round back to the USS Missouri and they're going to bring the Mighty Mo out, all those old salty sea dogs just suddenly show up. What can I do for you, son? It's like all these old World War II Korean vets just suddenly appear on the Mighty Mo, and they somehow scrounge up a bunch of ordnance and they're going to take it out for a run.
They're not going to take this boat down.
No way.
I love that. And then are we really going to shoot on the mainland? Holy.
Somebody's going to kiss the donkey.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
But
I love it.
I love and when they were carrying the missile, the looks on their faces, just kind of, it was just, there's a cheeky, fun vibe to it. And I dug it. It never felt, for a lack of a better word, like military porn, but it also kind of was, because Peter Berg's family, was like a naval historian, his dad was. I mean, he came into this film with a great respect for it. I think that shows in the movie. I think it does too. I mean, it's his hallmark, his calling back to what he loved in his childhood. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think it paints, especially, I don't even know how to say it. Like, I just think it paints the Navy in a good picture here. I mean, people can take it for what it is, but it doesn't say anything bad, and that's what I appreciate. I think it's as patriotic as you can get for an alien invasion movie.
And yeah, a lot of people were kind of hating on it for that, but I liked it. I thought it felt fun and organic.
And we can get into, like, one of the things I also really love about this is a lot of movies that show these types of destroyers and battleships. Like, you're always getting caught up in the action, like on the ship, in the quarters. Like, very rarely do you actually get to see like these giant 16-inch cannons, guns firing off.
Yeah.
And what I really appreciate about this movie is its ability just to pull back, and it just looks at like
the overhead shots, right?
The overhead shots. It takes almost like a master shot of the entire battle taking place. And so you just see, and I just keep going back to it, like the Mighty Mo just going full broadside off of that, what they call the club hull, where they drop the anchor and it swings into position, and it just going full broadside fire. Like, I just think that's so cool because we do not see that in movies.
And
just the all-out ability of these ships' power.
That's a great point, because when you think about this, there's aircraft carriers. There's a lot of aircraft carriers. Mm-hmm. There are Under Siege. I mean, even to a certain extent, Crimson Tide. But, I mean, you can't really have a master shot in movies like that. But it's inside the sweaty corridors with Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington yelling at each other sweatily. This one, you get that master shot. When all those... Okay, when they're doing the water displace... Wait, no, let's see. Yeah. When they're doing the water displacement moment, it's just... and then what? Rihanna says Mahalo, mother blank blanks, and they just blow up that ship. You see it. And that's it. Once again, ILM is able to make it work. They're able to... No, I mean, this movie has scale, and it's a very fun popcorn blockbuster. I just think people went into it a little jaded. That's just what I think. Yeah.
That moment with the NOAA tsunami buoys too, where they actually played Battleship with the aliens, yes. I think is ingenious. Well, I mean, it's like how do you incorporate the game into a movie? So it's like, yeah, I got this cheap little $20 game I picked up at Target. How do I turn this into a $200 million blockbuster? So it's like they literally crunch it down into a 5-minute section of the movie, but I think it's really smart how they do it.
I agree.
It's like those the NOAA tsunami buoys, as you said, like the water displacement. Like, how do you actually track it? Then you overlay it with the chart plot. You know, they go secure spy and shut off all outgoing signals pretty much, lock the ship down. But it's like even when they're firing those missiles from the USS John Paul Jones to the alien vessels, it's like it's black. Like you see it going through the air, but you don't have any idea of like kind of what direction it's going other than on the chart plot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of, it gives you the feel of the game where you're just guessing, that letter and number to try to hit your opponent's battleship.
I love it. And it's smart too, because there's some development in it. Like, where'd you learn this? Well, we have in Japan, we have the tsunamis, and so we have the buoys. So we're able to hack into those, and then we track water displacement. Mm-hmm. And you're going, oh, okay. And then Taylor Kitsch says, hey, Nagata, my seat is your seat. Like, there's a nice moment right there. And it's, use some math, have some fun with it. I mean, it gets creative, and it harkens back to the game. It doesn't feel cynical at all. I just don't think that it feels thought out. And so when you see it, at least for me, I enjoyed that, because they brought in just tsunamis from Japan, tracking water displacement. It's still in the Pacific. It makes sense. It checks out. Definitely. Hey, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I have something very special. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And Tom, I gave you an assignment. I asked you to come up with 5 things that you really love about this movie that people might have missed, and that makes it a better movie than what people thought. And after listening to your 5 things, I want them to just park their car, buy Battleship on their phones, and just watch it in a parking lot. Not driving. That's not safe. Or just wherever you are right now. They just stop and buy Battleship because of your 5 moments. So I want to hear these.
If you're at work, just quit work for the next 2 hours and 15 minutes and go watch Battleship. So these aren't in any particular order for ranking. But first off, in this world, radio waves are visible to the human eye. And how cool is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for visuals, and I love looking. I just love the idea of actually being able to visually see a signal shooting from dishes in Hawaii up to Landsat 7 all the way out to some distant planet millions of light years away.
I mean, it makes narrative sense, because if they're like, we're going to shoot a massive signal, and then they do a wide shot of just satellites sitting there, it's not going to...
Oh, yeah, it'd be boring.
Yeah, wait, what? Did they do it? So, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I mean, there's some narrative leaps in logic you got to make, and it looks great. I love it.
So, number 2, we've already touched on it, but the idea of just the whole grand scope of the battles and these massive destroyers and battleships, just being able to to fire off the cannons and you just see their raw power in one shot, I think is great. I love that aspect of the movie.
They said on those battleships you couldn't be anywhere near those guns when they fired because your eyes, ears, equilibrium, it would just shake everything because they're so massive.
Oh yeah, one of the guys was saying that they, as you mentioned, they would have to clear the decks every time they fired the 16-inch cannons, but if you were somehow caught up there, the percussion of it would just ragdoll you, like pick you up and throw you. That's how powerful these things are.
Oh man! And he said the 5s were really loud too.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Just insane. And yeah, we mentioned this earlier too, but I just want people to realize that it's entirely possible this movie exists in the same universe as Under Siege. So 20 years before this movie happened, Casey Ryback saved this ship, and then the ship saves the world.
So Steven Seagal inadvertently helped save the world.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Oh man, I love it. That's a beautiful. When I learned that, I just started laughing. Like, this is beautiful. Oh.
And then there's a beautiful, I wouldn't say, not necessarily beautiful, but a very, very cool one shot in this movie. Right after they take down like one of the final opposing like alien battleships, it sends out one of those shredders that goes and attacks the John Paul Jones, and that's how it sinks. But it's a 2-minute and 7-second oneer of these shredders ripping through the destroyer, and then the destroyer sinking, and then Nagato and Hopper climbing up to the bow of the ship and then jumping off and somehow avoiding the propellers and all that stuff. But it's a very, very cool scene.
ILM made their money on that one.
Yes, they did. Big time.
Right, what's your 4th?
So then this one's kind of heavy, but I like how it incorporates the Japanese and American characters into the story. It's like when you think of it historically, especially in terms of World War II, there's definitely a bitter rival there between the nations.
Oh, yeah.
It's like over the last 70 years, they've become very, very close with navies. And as the Navy has said, like at this point, the Japanese is probably their best friends out there, and they're very close. But I just like how they start off as rivals and enemies, Nagato and Hopper. And by the end of the movies, they completely respect and trust each other and their judgment, what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, no, I like their friendship. That's probably they said the bromance at the end. They kind of had a nice bromance.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's your 5th? I mean, yeah, you're right. They handled that really well. I mean, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. We went to war with them. Then we dropped the 2 atomic bombs on Japan. But in this one, they're teaming up together. It shows kind of forgiveness and how the passage of time.
Yeah, it's how the U.S. military also works with the Japanese and other nations during the Rimpak Games. So I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
The fact that they were able to base that around that, and that's how you get the two nations together on the same side. My final point, and I'm going to rehash this again, but I love how they brought the USS Missouri back into this movie.
It's great.
I mean, the name of the movie is Battleship, but you actually don't get on the battleship till later in the movie. So I think it's very unique and creative how they were able to tug this thing out of retirement and bring it back. And it's a nice calling card, a nice homage to the veterans, especially when they show up and they're helping the young sailors, get the ship ready over 3 minutes of AC/DC's Thunderstruck. And I mean, that's what a lot of people don't know too. Like when the USS Missouri came out of retirement and they recommissioned it back in the 80s, like they had to bring veterans from World War II and the Korean War in to help train these guys. So it's just kind of neat that they reused that idea again.
I mean, I like analog versus digital too. Like it's a super analog boat against a technological giant with the aliens, and I mean, that wouldn't work out like that in many times, but I dug the battle between the two ships. The water bugs. They made those ships after water bugs, which I love. They wanted to, they designed them to look like water bugs, which I love. They nailed water. Yeah. I know water's been tough in films with
it looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful ILM water, for sure.
I think ILM said that this was the first time that they were able to that they had the computer power to render all of this at the same time. So all the particles were able to, react to each other instead of creating layers and then piling them on top of each other. Like, this was the first time that they were actually able to get everything together in one solid render and watch it play out.
I mean, I'd say they pulled it off. Yeah.
9 years later, I still think it's some of the best CGI I've ever seen.
I agree. It looks beautiful. And that was your fifth, right? So can I drop mine on you?
Yes, please.
All right. So, okay. Number one. I'm starting with one. Number one. When Mick fights the thug alien. That's what they called him, right? The bruiser. They called
something like that. Yeah.
I think the bruiser or something. But just watch. Mick gets flipped. The lands on his back, and then he starts kneeing him in the head. And he punches the alien's teeth out of its face. It's just, I have never seen anything like that in my life. And if you're going to hate on this movie and say this, that, and the other, it still features a military veteran who lost his legs punching the teeth out of an alien that has been crushing every other person. I mean, so when he fought the Beast was getting beat up. But then you get Mick leveling this thing. It's just a good moment, man.
So for people that don't know, Mick Canales is played by retired Lieutenant Colonel Gregory Gadsden, who is a legit military veteran, lost both of his legs in a IED roadside bomb, became a double amputee.
And now he's punching aliens in their stupid faces.
And then choking them out with his leg.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just it's a great moment. And I liked, I know that Peter Berg had to work with him as far as dialogue delivery, but the cadence that they were able to come up with Mick, I dig, because he has a very particular cadence in how he says his dialogue, and I really appreciated that. And
he's got some great lines in that movie too.
And I guess another thing I like was Sam in this movie, played by Brooklyn Decker. I like the scenes where she's just, all right, go. You gotta get my dad's permission. He's right over there. See you later. Like, she's very, I don't know. It's just a different type of character that you don't see much in this movie. So it's just, I shouldn't compliment a film for showing agency with female characters, but I dug her style. I just liked very minimal role. I mean, and there's that scene on the beach that like showcases some gratuity, but I thought it was funny the way she handled him. Like, she like loves the guy, but she also knows he's an idiot. It's interesting. Yeah. I think it's
she's a good powerful woman.
Yeah, and I feel weird complimenting that because it's 2020, but how many movies do that? And,
no, that's true.
Yeah, and all right, so that's that. I don't know. I just thought it was funny the way she kind of kicked him around. I dig that. Also, the robbery with the Pink Panther music, based on a real robbery, but just him being drunk, falling through the roof twice, then getting tased. Like, he's getting up. It's just, it's absurd, and it just made me laugh. And a whole chicken burrito thing, and a lady locks up. She's like, "You don't want a chicken burrito. Too many complex carbs late at night."
Yes, as she's driving away, just like adding insult to injury. It's like, if you don't say that line, your store probably doesn't get broken into.
Yeah, too many of those, and that just, I don't know. I like that moment. I dig that. Also, I like when Cal Zapata goes, "They killed my grad student."
Yes.
And, I was a grad student, and I worked, I was a teaching PA, and I could totally think my professor would say that. "Oh man, my TAs got killed." And that's just the way I see that going. So I had a good laugh on that. That was a very over the top character, very Michael Bay-ish, but I dug it. And then my final one, another moment is, I love just the missile carrying, just the way that they were just six guys lowering, just looking.
Having to carry that final shot from turret 3 to turret 2.
I just love how
that's awesome.
It was good acting. It was good. What's the word? It was good heavy acting. I dug it.
It is good heavy acting.
Yeah, it made me laugh. I like that some of the veterans were helping out. I dug that. It just made me laugh. And also, last but not least, I do like the fight between the Beast and the big bad alien. And then I also like that Rihanna as Cora Rakes, Petty Officer Cora Rakes comes in, and she's like, okay, and she starts shooting it, and then she helps, and then she tries to fight it. I liked her in this movie. I thought she was cool. And I
thought she was good.
Yeah.
That was her first major acting role, wasn't it?
Yeah, Peter Berg gave her the movie because he saw her interview after the Chris Brown incident, and he's like, if she can navigate that insane interview, she can act. So he brought her out to Hawaii, and they all just acted. He brought her into the film. But I don't know. It's as much as you want to say, like, oh, the stupid, like, I'm not a fan of the lead, or it's too military this, or it's based on Battleship. There are some. Peter Berg says he hates saying this awesome. And I guess if you're standing on an actual battleship in the ocean, that's pretty awesome. But there are some really neat visuals and moments and different beats. It's just bonkers enough to work. It's just self-aware enough to work. And I think there's enough in it to make it a worthwhile film to watch. So, Tom, real quick, how much of your love of Battleship comes from your love of Battleship? Or your love of Battleship comes from you being forced to defend Battleship all the time because you've put your flag down? So are you very defensive over it and you've sort of built it up in your head because people go at you? Or do you genuinely love it? Does that make sense? For me, like Deep Blue Sea, I think it's the best movie ever made, but I will defend it all day. But I think I'm a little defensive over it too, if that makes sense.
It does. I would say I'm probably in the same boat, for lack of a better pun there. There's a lot of things that I love about this movie, and I've always been a big World War II history buff. My grandpa served, so I've always had a soft side for these types of movies. I love big battleships, destroyers, stuff like that. Like it's just stuff that you don't see often, and you don't see it portrayed accurately. And I'm not gonna say that this movie portrays it 100 spot on, but it does try to do it justice in what it's doing. I think a lot of the love just comes from that initial experience of when I first watched it. I mean, that was one of the most fun I've ever had in a movie theater, and it's just carried over. Like, I've watched it twice this week, and it's just every time I'm just smiling through the whole thing. And when my wife and I started dating, I don't know, 6 years ago or so, I've always been a big movie poster collector, but since I've moved down here to Atlanta, I just haven't had the wall space to hang stuff up. So I didn't have any of my posters down here, and I've got probably about 40 or 50 of them. But my wife, for one of my birthdays, got me the Battleship movie poster, and so now it's hanging in my hallway coming up here to my man cave.
Nice.
I mean, it's just, man, I just love everything about this. I'm a big Iowa guy. The USS Missouri is an Iowa class battleship. So it's just like everything just speaks to my inner child.
And do you like the non-slimy aliens in this? That's what Peter Berg, he didn't want slimy aliens. What do you think about the aliens themselves with their 4 fingers and they can...
No, I think it's great. I think they're humanoid just enough to be believable while still being more advanced than we are. It's like they're not slimy. They're not to the point of Independence Day where they're walking around in giant exosuits, but they are like mechanically advanced as well. Like they've got mechanics built into their bodies.
Swiss Army hand, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so they've got like the lizard eyes, they've got the weird beard that's supposedly made out of like the same stuff our fingernails are made out of. So, I mean, it's like you can tell that at one point or another, our species may have deviated from each other.
Wow. Yeah, they're interesting looking. They're different. I like the design. I like the Swiss Army hand. That seems very practical for an alien conquering thing. And I mean, also, I like when Mick goes, I've never seen an alien. And they go to find him, and they all...
Yes.
And I like that Mick, he's such a veteran that they know that they're here to establish contact. So you send out a scouting party. That scouting party lands there and like, yo, we got this. Let's send a message back. And everyone's kind of hip to that. And it makes sense that they're trying to blast these messages to bounce off this satellite to get it back to their planet to say, hey, bring more. Like, this is good.
They're a recon group.
Stupid question. If the populace didn't fight, and obviously we would have, right? But let's say these naval forces somehow go, I don't know, maybe they come in peace, right? This force still would have come to Earth and taken it over. Would it have? But it didn't. There's that scene where the scientist grabs that box and the other alien doesn't even do anything to him. You're not a threat to me. So would we all be, would it be a conquering party like they said with Cortez, the conquistadors and the Incas? I mean, would they come to us and give us some unearthbound disease and then we die? Like, I mean, what were they there to? Now, he saw on the hand that they were going to kill humanity. Taylor Kitsch saw that. But do you think they were there to just wipe us out, or do you think they were there to? What do you think?
I think they were there to. I think they eventually would have tried to wipe us out, but I think that initial party was, none of these humans are a threat to us, so we're not going to waste our energy on them. We're going to mine for our, test the Earth for samples or whatever they're doing. Like, they're clearly scouting Earth for either a hostile takeover or for the minerals and elements to keep supplying back to their home world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I think at that point, they're not really worried about us in any way, shape, or form.
This is scary because there's more. And we sent the message, and they got it. And if this scouting party doesn't come back of 5 ships, if they bring 15 ships, right?
50 ships or 500 ships.
Yeah. I mean,
500,000 ships.
Making those bubbles, they're far more advanced than us. So did they buy themselves a few years with those satellites to wait for the next party? I mean, it's not looking good for humanity right now, Tom, is what I think.
And I think that's what's unfortunate is this movie didn't do well enough at the box office that we're never going to see a sequel.
Yeah.
But they set you up for one. It's like they're at the ceremony, the picture taking after the ceremony, Hopper is talking to another commander of sorts that's from the Navy SEALs, and he's asking Hopper if he wants to come join him at Coronado to train to be a Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can see like that's where that movie was going to take it. Like he was going to become a Navy SEAL, and then you had that whole, where was it, in Scotland, the post-credit scene, that there was still an alien alive in a crashed ship in Scotland.
Yeah. I mean, what's that thing going to do?
And it's like they briefly got a very short signal off before they bombed. Or no, I'm sorry, it was before
they blew it up.
Canales and Sam hit it with their vehicle. So it's like they got like a brief millisecond of a signal off before it was shut down again.
Mm-hmm. The Earth is done, Tom. We aren't fighting 100. We're not fighting 7,000 of these ships. It's not happening.
Well, I mean, we didn't think we were going to do well on Independence Day, and we know how that turned out.
Yeah, hacked him. Well, we need Jeff Goldblum back.
He could still be there. I mean, do we need Jeff Goldblum when we have Cal Zapata?
Oh yeah, you're right. What is he, an android? Is he an android? Oh,
they
man.
are pretty much the same guy.
He called it. I do feel horrible for that Hawaiian terrain, though, because that was some beautiful mountains they built satellite dishes on.
Yeah, it was.
They had to build some roads up there and deforest and...
And then I don't know what the aliens did attaching all their cables, but when they fired that thing up, it's like ripping electricity through the mountainside and blowing trees apart.
Yeah. Jerks. Hawaii's going to be kind of roughed up now.
It could be.
Oh, man. So, hey, any final thoughts about this movie before we get out of here?
Guys, just go see it. If you need to crack a beer or two to get in the mood, just have fun. No expectations going in. Just enjoy it. Great visuals, goofy cast.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Liam Neeson in it for about 45 seconds, but all of his lines are gold. You can repeat them at home and feel badass about yourself. And it's got a solid soundtrack. Good score, good AC/DC rock music. Stone Temple Pilots thrown in there.
Oh yeah,
just fun stuff.
All right. So by the time we get out of here, let's do a quick Peter Berg 4-film squad. All right. And since you're the guest, I'll let you have first pick, and you could probably win it with your first pick. But I'll give you the first one.
Okay. Oh man, I want to take this, but I also want to win.
So before we get out of here, I'll let you have. Well, you pick first, and I go.
I'm gonna go Deepwater Horizon.
Whoa! All right, I'm gonna go Friday Night Lights.
Good one. I don't want you to take it. I'm gonna take Battleship.
Oh man! All right, I'll do Rundown.
Oh god, that's so good too. That's such a good freaking movie. I love The Kingdom. I'm gonna go with that.
All right,
I just rewatched that again a few weeks ago.
It's good. I'll take Hancock.
I'll go Patriots Day.
Ooh, all right. So you got that. So I get the last pick, and I have a decent amount of movies left. All right, so I get to pick. This is tough. I will take. He did Very Bad Things. Nah. Oh,
Lone Survivor.
Oh yeah. How do we leave that out? I'm taking Lone Survivor.
So, real quick note to the audience. Apparently, Berg Lone Survivor was like his pet project that he wanted to do for years. And the only way they agreed to back this, that Universal agreed to back this, is if he did Battleship. But he wanted to do Lone Survivor first, and they said no. So he was kind of forced into doing Battleship to get his finances squared away for Lone Survivor.
And then Battleship didn't do well, so they had to cut a lot of his costs for Lone Survivor, and he hired everyone at like Mark Wahlberg, Taylor Kitsch, all the actors took scale.
Yeah.
And
which is pretty cool. You don't hear that often anymore.
Man, Mark Wahlberg taking scale, that's nuts.
Oh yeah.
He regained a lot of his mojo though with Lone Survivor. Because I mean after that he went on The Leftovers and he actually did some TV. He had trouble getting movies for a while. But then he did Deepwater Horizon, Patriots Day, Mile 22 wasn't very good. I enjoyed Spencer Confidential. It's okay. It's not great. It's a background Netflix watch for sure.
His run there though with Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon, and Patriot Day are, that's a really, really solid, impressive 3-movie run.
I mean, this guy's gonna keep. Oh, he did a Rihanna documentary, so they remain friends, which kind of makes me happy.
Does he have anything in the works right now?
Chris Cornell documentary and a Rihanna documentary, and then I don't know if they'll do another Spencer Confidential. They wanted to do a whole series of that. But he has a show called Painkiller, and there's nothing to know about it. It's in development.
Okay.
I mean, he'll keep working. The guy knows how to work. So, but Tom, thank you for joining me, man. And I'm glad that we got to defend Battleship. I know I just had to get a few things out there with Kitsch and the Michael Bayism, and I think you kind of turned me on it, man. So I appreciate you doing that.
No, thanks for having me. This has been a podcast in the making for years now.
Because you and I have just been drinking coffee on film sets, arguing about or talking about Battleship, or I've just winded you up on social media by talking smack about Battleship.
Oh man, I've gotten to so many arguments on other sets. I mean, the camera ops from classic TV show Devious Maids always gave me a hard time.
Yep, and everyone knew how to get you wound up, man. It's like, hey, go watch this. Say something about Battleship.
So they would start recording on their phones and then go drop some snarky comment to me just so they could see my reaction.
Oh man,
that's how bad it got. Then I would get into reacting half the movie in front of them.
And then you probably started quoting MacGruber with your insults at him.
Normally, that's what happens.
Hey, well, thank you for joining me, Tom.
Thanks, man.
All right, so for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Tom Tresemer, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.